D.A.P. Dads Against Predators. So, I had issues with their latest video. And the reason why I'm I'm talking about this is because I'm sitting there wondering, have they actually went too far in their latest video? So, I want to start off by saying I don't condone anything that these predators are doing, and I do not defend them whatsoever. With that being said, this guy, right off the bat, I'm just going to sit there and tell you, he committed suicide. And so, it raises a couple of questions. Why was this video still posted? I mean, the whole idea of posting these videos is that way you get them exposed. This way the public and everything like that knows, who this guy is, who this person is, and they can keep their kids away, they can keep safe and stuff like that. But this guy is no longer alive. He's no longer a threat. So why did you decide to post this video still? Maybe about a year or two ago, the same thing happened with Pop's class. Somebody, committed suicide, and he took down the video. He did it for the family and stuff like that. And, even without that being said, the guy isn't a threat anymore. So there's no reason to actually have the video up. And, in the beginning of the video, they basically sit there and say, the guy committed suicide and we weren't going to put the video up. But then they come up with some bullshit fucking reason of why they decide to put it up. And it's something along the lines of, we discussed it with other families and stuff like that, and we decided to put the video up. Well, did you discuss it with his family to put the video up? Because I didn't hear that in the sentence. All I heard was, oh, well, we talked to other people, so we thought it was okay. That's literally what you're saying. You talked to a bunch of other fucking people, and then you thought it was okay. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what to say to that, You talk about, you don't want to sit there and shame these people and stuff like that, and you're not there to shame the family and stuff, but yet you think that's actually going to help the family? And then they come out their mouth and sit there and say, well, by putting up this video, the family can start to heal and stuff like that and realize it wasn't their fault and stuff like that. I was like, how could they start to heal if you know, that this guy committed suicide, how it might be affecting the family? How is a video of their dad, their husband or whatever, being constantly up online gonna have them heal? I want to know. I really want to try to understand how is that going to help them heal. And then, and then there's something else about this video. When you read the chat logs, and normally I don't. I normally skip the chat logs, but because this video, it is what it is, I went through all the chat logs. And I gotta be honest, I'm not sitting there trying to defend this guy or anything like that, but let's just sit there and say that this guy was still alive and everything went to court. 1 second. Now let's just then say that this thing went to court and everything like that. When you read the text, there's a lot of time where D.A.P is, enticing him to come over, to continue chatting and things of that nature. Like with Pop Squad and some other groups or whatever, they'll be like, all right, whatever. Like when the pedal starts to get like nervous and skittish or whatever, and they're like, all right, maybe I better not do this or whatever, I can get caught. Usually they're like, all right, whatever, I'm just gonna chill, bye, whatever, and they just dismiss them. And then, usually they come back because they're just fucking sick in the head. But with this video, there was a couple of times where the guy was like, oh, well, you're not going to lose everything, and I don't know if I should come, and I don't know, whatever. And you see D.A.P that's like, all right, well, you can come over, nothing's going to happen. And granted, I don't know how many of these other pedo groups or whatever, and granted, this is again, this is the first time that I've actually, really read through the chat logs and stuff like that. But, a good defense attorney could sit there and be like, well, they enticed my client and stuff like that, and they kept sitting there asking, begging them to come over. And then granted, even if that's true, an 11-year-old or a 14-year-old shouldn't be dictating what a grown-ass adult does. So at the end of the day, it's still his responsibility to say yes or no, to block them, report them, and whatever. So, I'm not sitting there trying to defend the pedophile. I just, when I do these videos, I sit there and try to look at it from all sides. I try to be as balanced as possible, especially, in situations like this. But, like I said, when I looked at it, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not defending this guy or anything like that, but it looks like it could be a case of, one can sit there and look at it and be like, all right, well, you're kind of like entrapping him and like, enticing him and stuff like that. And granted, the argument is pretty flimsy, but I can see, what I'm saying? Like when you watch the video, read the chat logs. I know sometimes some people just skip the chat logs, but this one is actually important. They're all important, but like for the sake of this video and the nature of what happened, definitely read the chat logs. I think he does his exposure and stuff like that, and I guess I don't know who contacts who first, but pretty much D.A.P is like, we're gonna contact your boss and we're gonna contact your job and stuff like that and let them know what you did. Now, this guy pretty much says, this is pretty much gonna be no. He says, don't bother. I'll be dead by morning. I'm going to commit suicide like my son. At that point is where I felt like, he should have kind of stepped in and be like, listen, don't do this or whatever, get help, because the way that this chat log goes on, he basically says, I'm going to be dead or whatever and commit suicide and stuff. And D.A.P is just like, boo-hoo. Are you fucking kidding me? Now, the reason why I sit there and say, are you fucking kidding me? Is because, yeah, people who don't do the whole creep catching and stuff like that, they'll sit there and look at it and be like, well, it's a problem that took care of itself. And you know what? You'll be right. But when you're doing that sort of, when you're doing that job or whatever, catching creeps and stuff like that, you have, what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say you have a responsibility to sit there and protect these people, but like, when they're out and you catch them and, they, a lot of times they want to make sure that they don't get harmed, they don't get hurt, because again, they're not there for that. They have a certain level of obligation to at least basically see them home. And, a lot of them, Pop Squad, pedal poachers and stuff like that, Alex would be like, yo, listen, don't, what I'm saying? Like, we don't want you to sit there and kill yourself or whatever, we don't want you to sit there and do that. So right away, when he basically said, I'm going to commit suicide, at that point, I felt like he should have kind of like, at least pretend that he wasn't going to put the video up, because he was like, listen, just give me a chance or whatever. Don't do this. Don't ruin my life. I'm not going to have any other options. And, he literally says, I'm going to kill myself. And instead of you doing anything else, you basically just said, whatever. And then he kills himself. And then he kills himself, and that's it. And then after that, you decide to post a video anyway and say, well, I did this because I talked to other people and practically that was enough for me. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is the reason why a lot of people, you do have a couple of people that will sit there and look at this and be like, this is why you need to let the police handle this, because, you guys are just a bunch of vigilantes and stuff like that. And I'm like, videos like that doesn't help the cause. I fully support a lot of these groups that go out there and catch these pedos and stuff like that. Even D.A.P, you know, goes because the police can't be everywhere. They can't be everywhere. And at the very least, even if these guys don't get convicted and don't go to jail, they get exposed. People know who they are, and they could, you know, protect their kids and protect their loved ones, protect their community. They know who is who, you know. So I fully agree with, you know, Pop Squad and pedal poachers and stuff like that. I may not like how they go about. I may not like the ways that some of these groups go about what they do, but I do respect what they do, and I do believe in their mission. And I do believe in D.A.P's mission also, but I felt like this was one that just went too far. Just for a lot of reasons. You know, you watch the video and you'll see it. I don't know. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't really have more to say. And I don't want to sit there and be talking in circles or saying that they're saying the same thing. But watch the video for yourself, and you be the judge. You let you decide if these guys went too far. Because I don't think what they did, you know, they didn't intend this guy to fucking kill himself. And at the end of the day, you know, I can sit there and be like, you know, they're not responsible for what that person did. You know, he made a choice. You know, you can't be responsible for somebody else doing something to themselves. With that being said, you're not responsible for what they did, but that doesn't mean that you didn't play a hand in it. You know, that doesn't mean that you didn't contribute in some way towards what happened. You know, and I do believe that, you know, as much as I hate to sit there and say that, I felt like in some ways they're not. And granted, there's a difference. They're not responsible. They didn't sit there and say, "Go kill yourself," and then he did, and then, you know, that was that. They didn't tell him to go kill himself. Okay, they're not responsible for what they did, for what he did. This guy made a choice. So he's not. They're not responsible for what he did, but to sit there and say that they didn't play a hand in it, that's pretty much the question, you know. So on that note, I'm gonna wrap this up. I saw the video this morning and I was like, wow. And then I rewatched a little bit of it and I read through the chat logs. And again, read the chat logs, decide you know, to yourself if you felt like, you know, in some small way, they weren't like enticing this guy to like go through what he was going through with. Now, you know, of course, it's a debating thing, you know, because I could sit there and look at it and be like, listen, if they didn't catch this guy and they say, you know, whatever, F it, let him go, he just would have just wound up doing it to the next person. And he worked around children. So I'm not against what they did. I'm just sitting there saying from a legal point, I'm not a lawyer, but, you know, one could sit there and look at it. Even somebody who doesn't have a law degree, they could sit there and look at it and be like, well, but you be the judge yourself. On that note, I'm gonna go. Be safe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next video.